They told you the ocean was beautiful. They showed you the shimmering reefs and the gentle waves. They showed you a world of peaceful blue. But the ocean has a victim. It has a price. And for 99% of them, that price is paid within the first hour of their life. This is the mortal countdown. This is the life of a creature born not just into a world, but into a war. Before we descend into the darkest place on the planet, tell me in the comments, what is the single most terrifying survival story you've ever heard from the animal kingdom? Let me know right now. It helps this tragic story reach more people. The nightmare begins long before the surface. You are a loggerhead, or a green turtle, or a hawksbill. It doesn't matter. Your name is irrelevant. Your existence is a statistical improbability that has not yet been annihilated. You are buried under 3 feet of crushing, suffocating sand, and you are trapped inside a shell that has become a tomb. This is where your life starts, with the sound of 100 siblings, all scrambling in the pitch black, all fighting for the same goal, one single shared breath. This is the first test, the dig. It's not a race, it's a cooperation. They must work together, hundreds of tiny, brittle bodies, pushing, kicking, scratching, one movement for the colony. And for 48 hours, they dig upwards, one exhausted inch at a time. The heat is unbearable. The oxygen is thinning. The weakest among them, they die right here, suffocated, their sacrifice merely serving as the new platform for the survivors to continue the climb. This brutal, unseen struggle is nothing compared to what waits above. Because the surface is a slaughterhouse. It is night. The final push breaks through the crust of the nest. You are free. For the first time, you taste air that isn't stale, suffocating carbon dioxide. You feel the cool night air, and you see it. The siren call, the guiding light, the ocean. It is everything your tiny primordial brain is wired to seek. It is the destination, but the path to it, that path is the single deadliest 30 minutes in all of nature. The gauntlet has begun, and the timer is ticking. You have maybe 300 feet to cover, but every single foot is defended by a hunter that has been waiting all night. The signal is light, the light of the open horizon reflected off the water. It is a primal, undeniable beacon, screaming salvation. And every single instinct in your tiny, fragile brain screams, go! But this sand is your enemy. It is a minefield. You are not built for speed on land. Your powerful flippers, destined to propel you across oceans, are now clumsy anchors, digging grooves into the dry, shifting surface. It takes 3 agonizing seconds to move a single foot. 3 seconds, that, in this environment, is an eternity. Every movement you make is a thermal flare, a visual disruption, a desperate whisper on the wind. Your siblings are all around you, maybe 50 of them, a chaotic swarm driven by one universal command: the water. You crawl over each other, you trip, you roll. You don't help your fallen neighbor, you use them as a launching pad. Because pausing means death. Hesitation means you are fuel for the next predator. The sheer scale of the beach, once a haven for your mother, is now an impossibly vast, barren wasteland. The air, once cool, is thick with the scent of salt water, and if you could smell it, the scent of death. Your body is already burning through the stored energy from the yolk sac. This is a finite resource. This is not a marathon. It is a 30-minute sprint that demands everything you have. And the hunters are listening. The hunters are watching.
The land gauntlet is defined by two terrifying killers, the silent hunter and the aerial hunter. Let's start with the silent one, the ghost crab. They are an entire army, armed and waiting. They don't stalk you from a distance. They erupt from the sand beneath you. They are the color of the beach itself, pure camouflage, and they move with a speed that defies their size. You see a small, darker shape move impossibly fast from the corner of your eye. Before your brain can even register danger, two razor-sharp claws clamp down. They don't kill swiftly, they tear. They crush the carapace. They disassemble your sibling piece by piece right next to you, and there is no scream. Only the frantic, muffled scratching of a shell against sand. It's clinical, it's silent, it's brutal. You swerve, narrowly avoiding the same fate, stumbling over the remains of another hatchling, a casualty you don't even have time to mourn. You push harder. But the real terror is above, the aerial hunter. The seagulls, the frigate birds, the herons, they are the executioners from the sky. They don't need stealth, they need volume. The noise of their approach is a terrifying final soundtrack to your brief life. From your perspective, a shadow descends, blotting out the stars, followed by a sharp, surgical beak. You are a moving target in a sea of dozens, but the birds are experts in selection. They pick off the slow ones, the tired ones, the ones that have veered slightly off course. They carry them high into the air, and then they drop them. The beach is littered not just with the dead, but with the broken, with the ones who survived the crab only to be smashed against the hard ground from 50 feet. Your progress is measured not in distance, but in how many of your siblings are left behind. You watch one get snagged. You watch another get snatched. This isn't nature. This is a meat grinder. The survival rate on land, by some estimates, is less than 5%. You are not just fighting for your life, you are fighting against the physics of probability itself. You push on. The muscles in your tiny flippers are screaming. The ocean is closer now. You can smell it. You can hear the roar of the surf. It is so close, you can almost taste safety.
You hit the wet sand. The change is instantaneous. The wet sand is firm. Your flippers finally find traction. You move faster, gliding across the surface, propelled by a final, desperate surge of energy. This is it. You have defied the land. You have escaped the aerial scythe. A large wave washes over you. You feel the cool, powerful grip of the water. For the first time, you are weightless. For the first time, you are home. You paddle furiously, driving yourself into the darkness. You made it. You are a survivor, the 1%. The fight is over. That is the lie, the most convincing, deadly lie the ocean will ever tell you. Because the moment you cross that surf break, the list of predators does not get shorter, it gets bigger. The ocean is not a refuge, it is merely a change of battleground. The surf zone is the next bottleneck. These waters are shallow, murky, and chaotic, and they are the favorite hunting grounds for everything that eats smaller fish. This is where the groupers wait. This is where the snappers wait. And worst of all, this is where the juvenile sharks wait.
This is where the groupers wait. This is where the snappers wait. And worst of all, this is where the juvenile sharks wait. The surf zone is chaos. The force of the waves, which offered brief respite, now threatens to dash you against a hidden reef or drive you back onto the sand. This is where the big predators execute their ambush. They understand the patterns of the waves, the murkiness, and the exhaustion of their tiny prey. You are no longer fighting for minutes. You are fighting for propulsion. You must get past the breaking point, past the whitewater, and out into the deep blue. A dark shadow flashes beneath you. Not a crab, not a bird, but a torpedo of muscle. A juvenile lemon shark, built for speed and powered by an ancient, unrelenting hunger. It lunges, it misses. You're spared by a split second and the chaotic motion of the water. Another hatchling nearby isn't so lucky. A sudden vortex of crimson blooms in the white foam. You push harder. You paddle until your body feels like it's tearing apart. Every instinct you have screams to dive deep, but diving means losing sight of the guiding current. You must stay on the surface, exposed, where the currents, your only ticket out, can carry you. The odds of surviving the surf zone are barely better than the odds of surviving the beach. After the land gauntlet, after the aerial assault, after all that fighting, you still face a near certain death. But then you feel it, the current, the strong, warm pull of the ocean highway drawing you away from the deadly coast. You paddle one last time with all your strength, and the surf zone disappears behind you. The shadows recede, the chaos fades. You made it. You survived the first hour. Congratulations. You are now one of the 1%. The fight is far from over.
You are alone now, truly, existentially alone. This begins the period known as the Lost Years. They are called that because for the next 5 to 10 years, science literally loses you. You vanish into the immense, indifferent scale of the open ocean. You are now nothing more than a speck in a watery void stretching 140 million square miles. Your entire survival strategy now revolves around a phenomenon called the sargassum mat. The sargassum seaweed forms vast, floating islands on the surface. These mats are a floating jungle, a complex ecosystem that offers exactly 3 things you need: shelter, food, and camouflage. You hide beneath this golden canopy, nibbling on the tiny invertebrates and creatures that also call the sargassum home. But even this refuge is filled with its own unique, invisible horror. The new enemy is not alive. It is a manufactured, eternal mistake: plastic. The same currents that carry you to the sargassum mats also collect the debris of human civilization. Tiny pieces of microplastic mimic your food. Pieces of deflated balloon and plastic bags look exactly like the jellyfish you instinctually seek. Your tiny stomach is quickly replaced by a time bomb. If you ingest too much plastic, you clog your digestive tract. You feel full, but you are slowly starving. You cannot swim or dive correctly. This death is slow, internal, and agonizing. It is a betrayal by the very civilization that romanticizes your kind. And the predators of the deep are always patient. Tunas, large mahi-mahi, and predatory seabirds patrol the edges of the mat. You spend years in this floating nursery, fighting not against an immediate sharp death, but against a slow attrition of exhaustion, starvation, and the constant risk of being snatched up by a larger fish that views the sargassum mat as a buffet. You grow from a fragile, coin-sized hatchling into a dinner plate-sized juvenile. You navigate thousands of miles, carried by currents, avoiding storms that could crush your shell, avoiding industrial fishing lines that stretch for miles like unseen, deadly fences. You are a fugitive in your own home. When you finally reach the size where the open ocean is marginally safer, you leave the sargassum mat behind. The lost years are over. You have survived the first, worst decade, but nature has one final, crushing twist.
The 1% that survived the 10 years of the lost years finally return to coastal waters. They spend decades feeding, migrating, and growing. They reach maturity. They become the magnificent, towering creatures of legend. They are the ultimate survivors, veterans of a war fought in the sand, the surf, and the open void. But for all their fighting, their entire epic life is merely a means to an end. It is a sacrifice to close the loop. After 30 years, the adult female does the one thing she was born to do: return. She must return to the very same beach where she was born. Not the same country, not the same coastline, but the exact patch of sand, guided by an incomprehensible magnetic sense of home. She crawls out of the water, a titan of the ocean, moving slowly, awkwardly back onto the shore. The same sand that tried to suffocate her as a hatchling now holds her weight as she digs a new nest. She lays her eggs, hundreds of them, the next generation. And here is the ultimate, tragic truth of the cycle. She knows, instinctively, that 99% of her effort is doomed. She is laying 100 new lives, knowing only one, maybe two, will ever make it to maturity. She is restarting the brutal, mortal countdown. Her life was not about living long. It was about laying the foundation for a single new hatchling to survive the gauntlet. You survived the dig, the sprint, the crab, the gull, the shark, and the plastic. You defied the odds of probability itself. But your victory is merely the beginning of another desperate fight. The ocean is beautiful, yes, but its beauty is paid for in blood, in struggle, and in the sheer, overwhelming agony of near certain annihilation. The next time you see a sea turtle, remember the 99 lives that were spent to create that one moment of tranquility. Remember the silent, brutal war fought in the sand. If you survived this brutal deep dive, let us know which animal deserves this kind of dark examination next. Drop a comment below with your suggestions and subscribe to Ocean's Victim, because the darkest secrets of the natural world are still waiting to be uncovered.